You eventually donned the maroon and gold, man. You wrestled for University of Minnesota. Tell us about your acceptance into the school. What made you choose that school? Did you have other options that you decided not to go with? Tell us about your whole intro to D1 wrestling.
Well, it was kind of unconventional. Even the fact that I went to college for folk style, really, because I remember in my very first year at Fargo. First year cadet, I won Greco and took fourth in freestyle, and I got the letters that were like, the legality of, hey, look, we can't recruit you, but if you want to fill out this questionnaire and send it back to us, that would, we would accept that. And I want to say I might have gotten one from Nebraska. It was very limited because it's cadet nationals. It's not the biggest deal, but I got one from Northern Michigan, and theirs was a little bit more open because I think that and this is, years ago, but this is how I'm remembering it in my head, was basically like, we can give you this money and we can offer you this now because we're not NCAA. And if you want to do this, this is an option for you. And I decided at 14, 15, I'm like, well, I'll just do this then because I like Greco way better than every other style. So I decided that that's what I was going to do. I decided, okay, I'm going to go to Northern Michigan, wrestle Greco, and then I'll join the Army WCAP because those are the only two programs that I had seen at the time where you could make a living and be a wrestler, specifically a Greco-Roman wrestler. So I was like, cool, got that figured out as an 8th grader. And then as I kept progressing, winning state titles, continuing to place at Fargo, going to what was FILA cadets at the time, and FILA juniors, I got more offers. And I think I was the number 1 recruit in the country or number 1 in my weight class, or somewhere in there. And I had good grades, so again, stay in school and pay attention, kids, because I got offers from just about every major college in the country, and that's when my parents, again, being wise, like, okay, well, maybe let's think about this again. You're kind of pretty set on going to Northern Michigan, and that's great to wrestle Greco. But what if you can get to a larger institution? Like, what do you want to do with the rest of your life? Because these right now are golden tickets to, I got some stuff from Ivy League places, and that was a weird one to get. It was like Harvard. I'm like, Harvard has a wrestling team? I would go there, but what I don't want to do, I knew I wanted to be an artist or a graphic designer pretty young. So I'm like, I don't know if they have a good art program, and I like that. What's kind of squandering an opportunity to go to Harvard and then be an artist? Like, that's probably not the best idea.
Sure, yeah.
No offense to Harvard's art program. So then that started to guide where I would look to go to college. And they said, hey, wherever you want to go, that's cool. But, my mom definitely, and my dad seconding, like, what do you want to do? What's the major? That college has to have it, like, really focusing on that portion of it. And so it really pretty quickly boiled down to 2 spots, and that was the University of Minnesota, because they had a really good graphic design program. And Oregon State actually had a pretty good graphic design program. It still does. And so there was kind of, do I want to leave home, go to someplace big, exciting, new, challenging, not really have too much of a family support system there. Mom's not going to be able to help me move in and things like that, or stay home in Oregon and be closer to the family, and go that route. And just being able to continue to work with for the first time Joe Russell, who was another USA Cobra alumni, that was a big draw for me. And then legends like Jay Robinson and just the coaching staff that they had at the time, guys who are still on staff who have just been promoted, and guys, I remember Zach Sanders was one of the few names I remember at the time, like, oh man, I can wrestle with Zach Sanders, and now that guy's a friend. I had dinner at his house. But at the time it was getting to see those guys, and then knowing that I could wrestle Greco, knowing I'd wrestled a lot of really good kids from Minnesota in Greco, and then finding out more of their history of Greco-Roman success. And so I was like, oh, well, now this is a no-brainer. This is where I'm going to go, is Minnesota, for the folk style and also the post-collegiate aspect, and the way that they were able to mix that so often. Guys like Garrett Lowney, Rounded Paulson, guys were wrestling Greco and wrestling folk style, so that really cut out every other option where I would maybe decide, do I want to go wrestle for Oklahoma State, or do I want to go to Michigan? That would be kind of cool. But in my head, I'm like, well, they have a rich freestyle history perhaps, but the Greco's over here in Minnesota, and the major's over here in Minnesota. So it all just worked out really well, and I decided that that's what I wanted to do, and I don't regret it at all.